Yes, so hello everyone. My name is Puneet Garg, and you will probably see Piyush there on the name because we are using our LocoFi account for this call. Um, but thank you, Tom and Jim and everyone and all the team for this opportunity.
Right. If you can get right into it. So,
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks. Hello everyone. A very happy new year to everyone. Thank you again, Jim and Tom and team for giving us the opportunity. It's indeed an honor. So before I get into presenting anything on the screen, I'd like to talk about two things in general. Number one is our current emphasis on attending as many train shows as possible, and just a kind of an update on that and how that's going. And then an update on our newest solutions for larger scales. So to start off, we've been getting a lot of interest lately, and partly it's because we've been doing a lot of shows. When we restarted this entire effort of attending train shows after COVID, we were a little bit surprised to see that not many modelers, except of course our existing customers, had heard about us. So be it the smaller local shows or even the larger national shows, we found that customers were still kind of not very aware of our brand. So we decided to double down on shows, no matter the size, to bring about greater awareness at a grassroots level and from a bottoms up perspective. So we certainly try to attend as many shows as possible, especially on the West Coast because they are in kind of our driving distance, but even some larger ones in other parts of the country. And being out there on the ground has instilled a lot of confidence in modelers to see something in action and concretely. Uh, some s- um some of the modelers may be skeptical with us only having a website and no physical presence with retailers, and that's understandable. However, the flip side to that is that there is no middleman involved, and we can pass on the savings to our customers when we sell direct. Anyways, we've been able to counter some of that skepticism with this physical presence at shows. Modelers come to us and say, hey, here's my smartphone. I scanned the QR code, I downloaded the app, and now what? Can I simply go ahead and run the trains now? And we say, yes, absolutely, yes, you can. And we are able to show it to them how. Then sometimes the next question is, hey, what next? Can I do, let's say, a consist? And of course, again, our answer is absolutely. And we show it to them how easy it is, almost like a single click consist. So I think what customers are, I mean, skeptics as well as the plain old curious, they are kind of able to see firsthand how simple as well as powerful LocoFi is, and how easily they are kind of able to relate how it can fit into their current DC layout, as an example. Like, hey, I could do this on my own DC layout. I always wanted to run, for example, multiple trains without any wiring hassles or any additional equipment. And LocoFi makes this possible. They are kind of able to make that connection. Not just that, one of the biggest kind of most enthusiastic group that we have in the shows are kids. For example, my 10-year-old nephew who loves to attend these train shows. Um, he loves to attend these train shows because he gets to run trains as well as his favorites, and he loves switching and things like that, and all of the like layout operations. So sometimes he'll even invite his friends over, especially if it's a local show and it's not a long drive. And within no time, that bunch is having a blast. And sometimes some of us older adults actually seem skeptical of like, hey, how can kids have so much fun? Because till now, the general perception is that model railroad control is very complicated and cumbersome and requires a lot of investment into understanding electronics and stuff like that. So it's a little bit of a surprise for them that how can locomotive control be so much simple as well as fun. So I must say that we are pleased and proud that we are helping many such modelers bring back fun into their hobby so that you as artists and modelers can get back to modeling and not, mess with wires and equipment and stuff like that. The second thing I want to talk about is this opportunity with larger scales that we were kind of a little bit late to come to. We did get some questions initially when we rolled out the product, but we just didn't have enough resources at that stage to invest towards another product that would support larger currents, which are needed for larger scales. Um, and at that moment, at that time of our life cycle, we were kind of more invested in, we were really interested in investing each ounce of our energy and effort into building a robust and scalable platform, something that would be really kind of future proof, so to say. But I must admit that the love and support that our customers showed, um, that that was very critical in getting us to the point of rolling out products to support larger scales. Very early on, we had this one customer who was an electronics wizard. She designed around our circuit board that would amplify the motor current. She even published her design on our website. But obviously, it was not an average modeler thing. It was a little bit of an advanced modeler and technical thing. But then there was another gentleman from Finland who did a similar thing. He also published his design on our website, but both of them did not get a lot of traction and not didn't get much noticed, or maybe the techniques were perceived as too technical. But then there was another gentleman by the name of Sam Walker, and he pushed us a lot. He probed us a lot. We got on a phone call with him because he wouldn't write emails and only wanted to speak to someone. So we got on the call with him. He asked us a lot of questions. We explained to him how we have the PWM outputs that drive the motor. He hung up, and in a couple of days, he purchased a module and informed us that he was going to solder our board, a couple of more wires and an additional third-party circuit. Then he comes back in a few days and saying that it sort of worked, but he might have destroyed the chip on our board. Well, we were impressed by his dedication. We asked him to send us the board and see what we could do. Obviously had all the tools and diagnostics to figure it out, and luckily the board wasn't damaged beyond repair. We were able to salvage it and kind of fix all of things nicely for him and send it back. And then we heard the good news from him that everything was working fine. And that was a turning point for us. He then went on to equip some more of his locomotives with LocoFi decoders in the larger scale. And not only that, he kind of egged us and encouraged us to start exposing those two wires and give flexibility to our customers to add on their motor drivers as per their requirements. And we agreed, why not? Let's run it at least as an experiment. And boy, it was such a pleasant surprise. We saw so much interest in larger scale. And since then, we've been providing plug and play solutions where we provide the entire package, including the additional circuit board, and we provide it to them pre-soldered. So they don't have to do that. We also added a larger speaker that gives awesome sound, which is appropriate for such larger scales. Now we are constantly getting requests to add more features, which we obviously love, and so people are asking for more features like extra light outputs, electric couplers, and uncoupling features, outputs for smoke detectors, and so on. And yes, rideable trains. And I feel really proud to say that yes, LocoFi is being used in human rideable trains now. Okay, so today I would let's get into the presentation quick. I really want to take a few minutes to walk the audience through our website. Like I said earlier, we sell direct, and as such, the website is a critical communication mechanism between us and our customers. We encourage all customers and the audience here to please certainly visit our website and find out how that is the best way to learn more about LocoFi as well as stay connected to us. So I'm going to start sharing my screen here. So visit us on wifi modelrailroad.com, and right off the bat, you see that we start off with all of the critical communication right up front. So, for example, this is one of the biggest updates that we have going right now. You might be aware that we kind of ran out of stock pretty fast. We had some uptick in our sales activity in late November or so, and then we kind of got into a little bit of a pickle where we had to order our next batch pretty quick, and we were expecting it by the end of January, and per the latest information we have, it might be getting delayed to the end of February. But the good news is that you can still pre-order. You can pre-order at a fairly competitive price because you don't know what the price might be later on. And another piece of good news is that we are also getting larger scale solution also being manufactured with this lot. So when we have that lot, we will also have more larger quantities of the larger scale products as well available. So, anyways, coming back to the website, this is kind of our homepage, and right off the bat, there's a whole bunch of information in here, just giving you kind of an overview as well as some detail into what the technology is, more about the brand LocoFi, some quick videos, some more resources. But then I also encourage you to look at this learn section in the navigation bar there, where you can learn by going to LocoFi, where you can learn more about the technology itself, uh, how kind of LocoFi presents itself as a complete paradigm shift and a completely grounds up approach at model railroad control. Then we have a section on videos. There's lots of helpful videos here. And these videos, they span from, for example, little teasers about product updates to seeing it right in action, um, as well as kind of instruction videos where we are showing like how you can do installations and things like that, as well as walkthrough videos of walking through the app itself, which is our primary controller, and really the way how where you can see a lot of the powerful features of our product manifest themselves, which is primarily through the app. Um, and then there is a section on our customer testimonials and interviews as well, so that you can kind of hear direct from our customers and how they feel about the product and about LocoFi and so on. So whole bunch of resources here. At the bottom, we also have our media coverage and how we have been showing in different media outlets, whether it be print or whether it be online. um, so that's again something which should help customers kind of feel a little bit more comfortable with adopting LocoFi. Uh, Next in our learn section is our resources section where there's a lot of kind of helpful resources like the quick start guide, a sound editing guide. We also have the locomotive configuration cheat sheet and a reference guide to consisting. You also have links to how you can download the app on either the Google Play Store or the Amazon Store. We have our other PDF resources like the technology brochure, the product brochure, where we have kind of a very high level roadmap of what is to come. We also have our library of sounds, which is constantly growing, including diesel as well as steam sounds. And then we have this kind of knowledge base of all our updates that to the app that have happened in the past. And I would like to place a special plug here with regards to our app and in general the LocoFi platform, because with most other manufacturers, you would probably have to send in your decoder back to the manufacturer for any kind of major product update, if at all, or you would just simply have to purchase another product. But in our case, if the hardware supports it, i.e. the hardware decoder, then very likely any new feature updates that we roll out, we are able to roll them out as over-the-air updates because of the app. So, and this kind of provides that entire history of all the updates that we've had till now. And this includes major updates, things like consisting, things like Steam, which we were able to simply roll as over-the-air updates, and our customers got them for free. The next and then we also have a FAQ section on the learn section. Next, I invite you to look at our product section where you will see our entire line of decoders, including our flagship DULLHB, as well as our large scale modification packages that I was talking about a few minutes ago. And then we also have some LocoFi series where we are selling some of our pre-installed modules, including train sets as well as some popular locomotives. This is especially helpful for people who are just starting out and don't want to mess around with soldering and just want to try out the product for themselves. Then there's an about section where about our team and our news and events, as well as a forum section where there's a helpful bunch of people, including existing customers, where actually anyone can join, including new customers as well as prospects. And really feel free to ask your questions. There's a helpful bunch of people here who can answer your questions. And lastly, before I move on to the final section, I very much encourage everyone to just go down at the bottom section here and provide your email address and sign up, because that's the easiest way for you to stay in touch with us as well as for us to stay in touch with you, where we can provide you with all of our product updates as well as things like any deals and special promos that might be going on and so on. Okay.
Excuse me, I have a question.
Yes, please go ahead. If
Yes,
it's a
right there.
short one, I'll try to answer it right away.
Yep. On your screen right there, I'm seeing a picture of your decoder next to the penny with the speaker.
Yes.
Now, one thing that I was really interested in is the LocoFi 3. That is a decoder, a sound module, and a keep alive all together, correct?
Yes,
In one unit.
that is correct. So all the hardware is essentially this decoder itself and the speaker that you see. All of our decoders, they have the Wi-Fi chip on there, all of the controllers on board there, including the sounds which are loaded on this micro SD card that you see, which is played off through the speaker.
And I think it's important for everybody to look right below his cursor and see what the price is comparatively of other things in the market where you have to add things on. Another thing that I noticed is since your last appearance, the LocoFi 3 is not only Wi-Fi to where you can control it with your phone and tablet, but also you've got something that's very unique. I saw something about cab sound. Could you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a new feature that we added where so this sound is essentially to be able to give you the locomotive sounds, right? The speaker that you see here. But then at the same time, you as the operator would also like to see how it would sound like being inside the cab while you're running the locomotive, right? And that gets replicated on your controller, which in our case is your mobile device, whether it be the Android smartphone or the tablet or the Chrome OS laptop, depending on the form factor that you're comfortable with. And within all of those interfaces of the app, you can actually toggle on the cab sounds where, let's say, if you are switching the direction, it actually sounds like the lever that you are pulling to either go forward or backward. And similarly for the lights, if you're turning on and off, they actually sound like the switches within the insides of a cab.
So you're essentially getting two different sound systems that are synchronized because you'll even get a further delayed reaction from the locomotive when you step up the notches.
Yeah, absolutely.
And and it will even have a sound if we spill our coffee in the cab.
Uh, you could do that too, because like I was saying, all of our sounds, they are loaded on this micro SD card. And the beauty of that is that you can actually load your own sounds. Now, of course, we would expect that you would be loading the locomotive startup and idle sounds or the horn and bell sounds, but really that's not stopping you. You could you could really load anything you want. And some of our customers do that as well.
And I saw some tutorials on your website to help the average person to be able to do that with some basic equipment, basic computer equipment and basic knowledge, correct?
Yes, absolutely. We do not have any proprietary kind of file formats on these sounds. It's the open formats which
Open
is
source?
easily available, and not much computing is required for kind of to be able to edit it. Some basic, very basic sound editing, we can also help you with that. And if you are gracious enough to share your sounds with the rest of the world, we invite you to kind of send them over to us. We will host them on the website in the library here, as well as give you back an edited version of those so that you could load on your own cards.
Well, thank you for your time and thank you for answering my questions because I know time's getting short for you, and I just thought it important for others to learn what I learned in the last couple of visits to your website. So I'm sorry I cut you short. You only got 4 minutes, but thank you.
Okay, awesome. I think 4 minutes should be plenty. I'm going to take a couple of minutes quickly to walk through something here. This is part of our flyer that we have been using at our shows, but I want to kind of focus on just this LocoFi exclusive section. And the reason I want to do that is because this is not something that anyone else provides in any of their products. And also it reflects the kind of grounds up approach that we had to this entire domain of wireless locomotive control. Uh, by that, what I mean is that it is based on what technology allows us to do today. That's what was the primary kind of driving force behind our design philosophy, and not something which is stuck in technology from 50 years ago. And then we are trying to kind of come up with a patchwork of technologies which provides a bridge into modern expectations of customers. So, so for example, uh, 1000 speed steps, right? A very super fine speed control, or multiple speed profiles that you can select at with a simple click, right? And by speed profiles, I mean, for example, you could have one profile for your home layout, which might be DC. And since our solution is power agnostic, that same locomotive, it would run on your DCC layout, which you might have at the club, right? And you could come up with different profiles for each one of those layouts, and it would be as easy as picking that locomotive, placing it on the respective layout, selecting the appropriate profile, and you're good to go. Similarly, this accuracy of scale speed. So the speedometer that you see on our app, that will actually reflect the exact appropriate scale speed depending on the scale that you're operating on. Again, another industry first. Auto speed matching, auto shuff sync, emergency stop, that's activation pressure trigger. Now this is again is representative where we are actually utilizing the technology and features that the most powerful things, these little computers that we carry in our pockets, right? Uh, where like pressure sensitive technology, we are utilizing that to be able to implement some of these features like emergency stop. Then auto step on connection loss, lock loco. Now these are just table stakes features that have to be present in any wireless solution. Not only that, we are also utilizing things like haptic feedback, which is available in almost any kind of mobile device these days.
Yep. That's
Okay, I think I'm at, yes, please go ahead.
just going to say it's just a great technology, and yep, um, I would encourage our viewers to try one of these. I mean, you really are on the leading edge of digital encoders for dead rail, for DCC, for DC. I'm amazed at all the different technologies that you're offering that nobody's offering,
Yeah.
and the only way to really understand exactly how much ahead of the curve you are is for somebody to just take a rider and try one of these. So
Absolutely.
I think
Absolutely.
I would encourage all you encoder people, all you dead rail people, give it a shot. He looks like he's got the miniaturization and the technology and the support. I want to thank you for being on the program this evening.
Thank you very much. And thanks again for the opportunity. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions in the remaining couple of minutes, I can take any.
Are there any quick questions for him? Okay. Thank you again.
Thanks.
And
And before I leave off, I just want to say last but certainly not the least, we are very proud to be supporters of your new tracks modeling mentoring scholarship. We really support that effort, and it has become a staple kind of now in our shows. We always carry this kind of this display with us
thank you.
to showcase our association with you. And yeah, thanks again for this opportunity.
Well, we'll have you back. That was really fascinating. We can focus on a couple technologies next time. But excellent product, great presentation. Thank you
Yeah.
for being on the show.